Here in Ukraine, President Zelenskyy has declared, "We want to live, but our neighbours want to see us dead." Addressing the Israeli parliament, the president, who is Jewish himself, invoked the Holocaust, claiming Russia is talking about a final solution for Ukrainians. The situation in Mariupol in the south gets more desperate. The local authority said an art school where 400 people were thought to be sheltering was hit by shelling. A warning, this report contains some distressing details. They are fighting street to street in Mariupol now, in the heart of the city. Russian forces have advanced, but in these Ukrainian military videos from the cockpits of tanks and armoured vehicles, the Ukrainians are trying to push them back, as they did 8 years ago. And it is clear the Russians are taking losses in the process. Fighting in built-up areas inevitably comes with cost.
Горит мой дом полностью. Вся 12-этажка горит. Ничего живого. Людей никого нет.
When they tell the story of this war, it will be the story of Mariupol.
О, Господи.
So far, it has seen the worst. With almost every day comes a new claim of an atrocity. The latest of an art centre being used for shelter, also bombed. There are no pictures of it yet. Nor is there news from the theatre, but we can see the destruction from the latest satellite pictures. Here it was, filmed by Channel 4 News, when they were still putting on productions. The conditions make facts hard to check, but just look at it. This once vital port city has fast been emptied of life. Local reporter Artem Popov has been sending us regular updates.
Russian troops are also shelling the city from ships, fire from aircraft and artillery. Fighting takes place on the streets of the city. Mariupol has been under blockade for 20 days. Local people live in the city in cars, some go on foot. Today more than 300,000 people remain in the city.
Езжайте.
The woman who sent us this video asked us to hide her identity. She walked 5 hours with her son from Mariupol to Melekino. Her car had been destroyed by shelling and she had to leave behind her mother, who's too old to make the journey. Now there's no way to contact her to see if she's alive. Christina, who did manage to leave by car, sent us this.
У нас не было ни зеленого коридора, не было организовано никакого нам спасения. Мы 16 дней, не выходя, сидели в подвалах. Летали снаряды, и есть тех историй, то, что в моем дворе мужчине именно оторвало ногу, он лежал, истекал кровью. Забирать его некому. Рыли братские могилы, то есть трупы просто прикапывают. Те, которые умирают естественной смертью, говорят, выносите на балкон, чтобы они не воняли, а потом как-то вывозите их. Никто ничего не вывозит.
Mariupol was home to one of Europe's biggest iron and steel works. The Azovstal plant exported to more than 50 countries worldwide. And here it was, filmed by Channel 4 News on the 30th of January. Here it is this weekend. Bombed and destroyed as Russian forces advance. Production here has only been stopped once before, in 1941. Russian television told a different story. Pictures of people leaving Mariupol to go to Russian-held areas.
Ну, вы вроде как сказали, на Сартану можно проехать в родные края, вот решила проехаться.
Ukraine says thousands have effectively been forced into Russia. Remember, people had only two choices. Go to Russia, where there is no bombing at least, or take the road to places like Zaporizhzhia in Ukraine, which has already been attacked and where the war may be going next. Well, earlier today I spoke to the former Prime Minister of Russia, Mikhail Kasyanov, who is a critic of Vladimir Putin now and an opposition figure, and I began by asking him what he thinks the war in Ukraine means for Russia.
For Russia, that is absolutely, I would say, tragedy which Russians should realize just very soon, I believe. Within few months, they would understand what exactly going on. I think that will be a problem for decades. We'll be suffering because of these Putin's actions. All what he is doing right now is absolutely contrary to long-standing interests of Russian people, of Russian country.
How long do you think it will take for the economic sanctions the world has brought in against Russia to be felt by ordinary people?
I think in 3 months' time, people already would feel much more sensitive manner what's going on. Ruble devaluated already by 40% and will continue to fall down. The remaining source of foreign exchange, foreign currency, which still exists, that is purchase of Germany and some other European countries of natural gas, and this foreign exchange inflow continue to take place. That right now allows central bank to keep ruble on that level what it is after 40% devaluation. But Germany today, as I have already heard, just agreed with Qatar to replace Russian supplies by Qatar gas. It means just very soon the final source of foreign exchange would disappear and ruble would continue fall down. For Russians, it means no import goods, no import medicine, no other many things which they use. All Russians use just in everyday life.
So when do you think this will have any kind of political impact? Do you, as opposition leaders, have any ability to bring this to an end, or is Russia effectively now a dictatorship?
It's effectively a dictatorship. That's absolutely the case. There's authoritarian regime, which gradually going to totalitarian one. And in fact, opposition was devastated just recently by Mr. Putin in a very harsh manner. You know, my friend and my political collaborator, Boris Nemtsov, was killed just near Kremlin. Alexei Navalny was put in jail. Some other people just also were put in jail. Some of them just had to immigrate. And right now, just the opposition destroyed completely. We have no ability right now, opposition, to act actively as we could just even 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. Today, it's a completely different situation. But I'm sure majority of people very soon would not find answers for their questions why they live so in such a tough conditions. And I think they will start reconsidering Mr. Putin's role and would understand where is the real source of their danger, of their problems.
How do you think this is going to end?
Everything depends right now on the situation in Ukraine. Ukraine is exactly the front of this fight, freedom and democracy against totalitarianism and authoritarianism. That is absolutely clear. That victory of democracy in Ukraine, that will bring success to Russian Democrats, and the beginning of Putin's era end would start immediately right after that. If it is the case, I think within 2 years the regime will be changed.
So are you saying the Russian opposition wants Ukraine to win?
Yes, we want democracy and freedom, and the intention of Ukrainians to be independent, free nation as a sovereign state. That's absolutely on our full support. We absolutely condemn Putin's actions. We call it that as criminal actions, and we support Ukrainian people and the Ukrainian country as a sovereign state and with full territorial integrity.
This is very dangerous for you to say, isn't it?
Yes, it is dangerous. That's why just right now I'm already not in Russia, because just recently they adopted a number of laws which in fact could provide just 15 years of in jail just for such I would say condemning Russian regime. But it is not possible to keep silence in such a situation.
If he is trying to redefine Russia's role in the world, how important is his relationship with China?
I think that is the importance is growing. It's not to the extent it's really, I would say, great unity or whatever. But of course, and even normal, usual Russians realize that in this potential unity, Russia would be subordinated to China. And in fact, what we see right now, when he provides Putin provides special contracts in gas and oil, etc. That is not market-oriented contracts. That's with some kind of concessions to Chinese.
Joe Biden is coming to Europe this week, and there are hopes that perhaps some sort of diplomatic breakthrough could be made. Do you think that's possible? Do you think Putin has any regard for President Biden?
He has regard because he needs just shaking hands and to demonstrate it to Russian television to increase his propaganda. But talking about results, I don't think just any diplomatic, say, negotiations with him would lead to any fruit. Because Putin wants his ultimatum to be implemented, and especially recognition of Crimea.
Mr. Kasyanov, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.